to call up San Jacinto High School, and I actually promoted this. I gave him an additional degree here, Dr. Luke Smith. He told me he's not a doctor, but I'm sure he will be one day, so I just put that on there. He's the interim principal and currently assistant principal over at San Jacinto High School, and we'd like to welcome them up.
Good morning, my name is Luke Smith. I am not a doctor, but I know how to operate, and so, sorry. I can't claim that line. That's Patrick Kelleher is one of our other interims, also gets called doctor all the time. I'm very thankful to be here this morning, and this is my first time, obviously, at this Student of the Month breakfast. Very impressive so far. I'll try not to make it not impressive. I was told I had 30 minutes, and so, 30 seconds. I'd like to introduce Danber De Los Santos. He's our Student of the Month. He'll introduce his parents and Tammy Smith-Wines, who's his special guest. I just wanted to mention briefly, Danber was actually one of the first students that I met when I came to San Jacinto High School, which is kind of funny. He probably doesn't remember that. But 2 years ago, as a sophomore, he wanted a schedule change, and I'm like, no way. We don't do schedule changes because I'm the new assistant principal, and this is what we do. And I had no idea who he was or what he was about. And it took Jordan Reeves, who was the principal at the time, who hired me, and he says, Danber's a good kid. Take care of him. I said, okay. I'm like, I'll take your word for it. I'm very, very pleased that 2 years later, it's come to this where I'm like, yeah, he has done more than show that he's a good kid. He's a phenomenal kid. He's exemplifies what we want as a Student of the Month, and really as a graduate of San Jacinto High School, he's exemplifies everything that we want out of all of our students. So, Danber, thank you, congratulations. Thank you for being a great student, and here you go.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for introducing me. This is Mrs. Wines, my English teacher. I have had her for about 2 years now. She's also Teacher of the Year of San Jacinto High School. Okay. To your guys' left are my parents, George and Karina De Los Santos. They have supported me throughout my life. Once again, my name is Danber De Los Santos, and today I would like to thank all of you for granting me this humbling award. I was only 13 when my mom started to show decline in her motor skills. The things she would do on a daily basis, she could not do anymore. It was getting hard for her to walk. She was always tired, and she had a difficulty of speaking. The doctors had no answer. Every day, I would see my mom suffer as her motor skills progressively got worse. 2 years later, she finally gets diagnosed with MSA, or multiple system atrophy. MSA is a neurological disease that affects the brain cells and spinal cord. I broke down crying when my dad told me there was no cure and it was a terminal illness. Being 15 at the time, I wanted to give up. As a family of 4 and my sister in college, I had the greatest responsibility. I would have to help her dress, walk to the restroom, and feed her. But I was not always helpful and used to be resentful. I would constantly yell at her or get mad at her for things that she could not do. One day after church, I saw the value in my mom's life. From that day forward, I showed my mom love and accepted that she's not going to get better no matter what I do. The only thing I could change was my attitude and how I perceived the things going on. My mom would always tell me, keep praying and focus on your studies so you can be successful. Because of this experience, I have learned to organize and prioritize, and now I work harder than ever to prepare for my future. I am applying to UCR with the hopes of attending there and major in accounting. My dad was an accountant for 10 years, which influenced me to do what he did. Helping people with their financial needs and financial plans is the best way that I could pay it forward in the long run. As of now, my involvement in Interact Club, where I taught 4th grade students about different cultures at San Jacinto Elementary, and Link Crew, where we help guide the freshmen to exceed in high school, is how I have been part of helping the community. I would like to conclude by saying thank you to all the sponsors here. Thank you to all the sponsors and everyone here today. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for the sponsors, the school district for for this special occasion and recognizing all the students. One of my sons as well. So once again, I want to thank you for your support, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. On Danber's behalf, I've known his sister 2 years before I knew him, and they are absolutely nothing alike. Both beautiful kids and both great attitudes. But to watch him grow in the last 2 years has been phenomenal, and I'm blessed to see that and witness it in the classroom every day. And I'm very proud of you, Danber.
Thank you once again, and we're just very, very proud of Danber and his family. Thank you for the opportunity. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ken Swanson and Mountain View High School.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to introduce my student of the month here. This is Tamika Colquitt. She's an amazing young lady, one of the first people who came up and introduced herself on a first day of school to the new principal there at Mountain View. She goes out of her way every day to make kids feel happy and a part of the family at Mountain View. She's part of our ASB. She's on our Superintendent's Vision 2020 team. She takes time out of her busy life to go and tell the superintendent what she thinks about the school and how to make the school district a better place. I just asked her the other day if she'd like to be on a second committee, and she said, "Oh, definitely, Mr. Swanson." I said, "That's more time out of your busy schedule to have to go." That's not a problem. I want to tell the superintendent what I think about all the facilities in the school. I said, "Excellent, good job." So I'm going to introduce you to Miss Tamika now, and Tamika can introduce her family. Come on.
Hello everyone, good morning. This is to your right. This is my teacher, Mr. Smith, Dr. Smith, I'm sorry. And this is my mother, Mrs. Catherine Colquitt. First of all, I want to thank Hemet SJ Chamber of Commerce for inviting me here today. I also want to thank my parents, Mr. Charles Colquitt in the audience, and my mother, Mrs. Catherine Colquitt, for helping me and supporting me always. It's not often that a young person like myself has the opportunity to speak to such distinguished guests. So once again, thank you. My name is Tamika Colquitt, and I'm honored to be selected as the Chamber of the Month. I am a 17-year-old student attending Mountain View High School in San Jacinto. I am expected to graduate earlier than June of 2017. In fact, I will graduate in December of this year. I come from a large family. I have 13 siblings, and I am the youngest of them all. I recently moved from Colorado in 2015 for better opportunities. I strongly believe that people can accomplish their goals if they are willing to work hard. I believe I can achieve anything in this world as long as I am willing to put my mind to it. Nothing can stop me. During the beginning of my high school years, I was very active. The school I attended was called Gateway High School, located in Aurora, Colorado. When sophomore year started, I noticed how bad I was falling behind in my credits. I was running around with the wrong crowd, and all this got me was being 2 years behind in credits. Looking at my transcript was a disappointment to me. All I seen was D's and F's everywhere. I had this fear that I would be one of those super seniors, stressing because I didn't think I would graduate on time. I was too busy trying to fit in, and in the long run, it bit me in the behind. When I moved to California, I decided to go to Mountain View High School so that I could catch up with my credits and graduate with my class. When I first came to Mountain View, I needed about 170 credits to graduate. And because of my hard work and dedication, and of course the assistance of my teachers, I only need 30 credits to graduate. I am very proud of myself because I could have given up a long time ago, but I kept pushing. I have changed my attitude and realized that education is more important than I was taking it. In fact, it's the most important thing in the world. In order to do this, I had to eliminate all of the negative people in my life because they weren't doing anything but draining me and leading me to failure. I understand that if you want success, you gotta strive for it. At the beginning of the year, I became very active in school in a positive manner. I realized that we all needed to contribute to our society. I joined ASB, which is the student governing organization at my school. I ran for and was elected after a hard-fought campaign to the treasurer's position. The students at my school depend on me to make sure all the monies and funds are properly accounted for. I'm doing a great job with this responsibility. After high school, I plan on attending Mount San Jacinto College. I will be studying for a career in the nursing field. I plan on studying to be a pediatrician and joining the Navy after that. I need the Student of the Month scholarship because if I receive this, I will be the first in my family to attend college. Once again, I want to thank you for inviting me here today and considering me for this great honor. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll let Dr. Smith go first. Don't go anywhere yet.
No, don't go anywhere. Okay. Mountain View is a very special place. It's one of the best kept secrets. It's also part of what I call the San Jacinto difference. It's something that I live about. Students come to us for different reasons, but whatever the reason is, our job as teachers is to restore them to be productive citizens. And Tamika is a model example of our end product. She is great, and she deserves it. Yes, ma'am.
Tamika. Tamika has came a long ways, and I'm very proud of her because all that we talked about, she's finally showing me that she wants bigger and better things in life. She works hard towards things. She's helpful. She's even so helpful where she find a puppy and post posters around trying to find the owners. And she knows the Lord most of all. And she went to catechism. She's a big help in the church. So long as she keep God first, Tamika can do anything. Thank the sponsors. Proud of you, Tamika.
No. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to now introduce up here to the podium Dr. Emily Shaw from Hemet High School.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank the sponsors and organizers for this fantastic opportunity to recognize our students. It's an amazing opportunity to recognize students such as Michaela. Michaela is an outstanding student on our campus. I'm not going to steal her teacher's thunder because if I did that, she'd be really upset with me. But I'm going to share an opportunity that I've had to work with Michaela a little bit this year. We hired a choir teacher from Chicago, and he ultimately worked just about 10 days and had to resign for personal reasons. And so Michaela, as a choir officer, has stepped up in a leadership role and has been working to support the choir program and is working with her choir officers on still maintaining the field trip and the different events. They're doing singing the national anthem at a Veterans Day event, and with just support of a campus supervisor on campus, they sang the national anthem at our homecoming football game. And it's because of the organization. I think you're president of our Choir Officers Association. So it's with her leadership and guidance that our choir program is still functioning in the absence of a highly qualified teacher. So Michaela is quite a leader on campus and has taken ownership of a program that is struggling because we don't have a teacher in place yet. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Michaela, and she'll tell you about herself.
Hello. I would just like to thank you all for the opportunity to be here and just giving me the honor of being able to be in everyone's presence. Thank you. So on this side of me, my parents are here, my mom, Melissa Ambrose, and my dad, Martin Ambrose. And then to my other side is my English teacher, Miss Fiorito, that I have this year. So I'm going to start with one of the biggest obstacles I've had to overcome in my life. And the biggest obstacle for me has been myself. I used to hold myself to a really high standard, basically perfection. And if I would try my best, I would do everything I was supposed to, and when I would see the results, if it wasn't perfect, I would be disappointed in myself, and I'd beat myself up about it. Obviously, that's going to happen because nobody's perfect, but I still expected that from myself. And then in middle school, in about 7th grade, I had a checkup at the doctor, and I found out that I have scoliosis, and that it was getting worse. They didn't know what the cause of it was. I just had it, and I had other medical problems too, but I really just started to despise myself, that I couldn't be perfect in school, and my body could no longer be perfect either. Then in high school, I found out that it stopped progressing, so instead of getting to a point where they could fix it, I was stuck forever. So this really, it was really hard. My parents would be proud of me, my friends would be proud of me, but I could never find it in myself to be proud of myself. And that's really something I had to work through. I had to learn to accept myself, to accept my flaws, to realize that there's things about myself that I can't change. But as long as I'm giving it my best shot, my best effort, that's all I can ask for myself. So it's been with the help of my parents and through trial and error at school that I've just been able to work through that and to be able to accept myself the way I am. In high school, I got involved in choir my sophomore year, and last year I ran for an officer position, and my choir teacher chose me as president. Which I didn't realize would be such a big role at the time. But now, like Dr. Shaw said, with the absence of a teacher, I've had to take on a lot of responsibility to try to keep the program going. I go in during my lunchtime, and with the concert choir, who has almost 50 students in it, and I've basically been teaching the class because none of the subs they're not musical subs. We haven't been able to find one, so I've been teaching our concert choir as well as instructing during 6th period when I have chambers. So that's been actually a really cool experience because I've been able to work with a lot of the choir students. I volunteer at my church as well. I do worship almost every Sunday for the main sanctuary and then Wednesday nights for the youth. And that's just something I love to do also. So that's one of my passions that I hope to pursue after high school. And I hope to attend either the University of Santa Barbara or Cal Baptist University to study mathematics. And I believe that's it, so now I'll invite my parents to speak.
When I think about my daughter, Michaela, the first word that pops up is determination. It means firm, fixed intention to achieve desired end. I have never met anyone with her determination. Not only has God blessed her with many talents like academics, choir, or sharing her heart when we've gone down to the orphanage in Mexico, or singing at church, but she is determined to be the best at those gifts. I personally love that she doesn't like to gloat, but instead shares her amazing talents and determination to succeed with us. And that's actually a quality of hers that I wish I had. And I'm very proud of her and the young lady that she's become. Thank you.
I just want to say that as Michaela's English teacher, it's been a privilege to have her in class, and not just for me, but in talking to her other teachers in preparation for this. Michaela is beloved by her teachers that she has and has had throughout her high school experience. The perfection that she's so hard on herself about attaining is something that comes out in her schoolwork at all times, and not just in her schoolwork. She's an AP scholar, she is a 4.0 student, and despite her health concerns that she's had all year while trying to do choir and her AP courses, she's only missed 4 days of school, which for a senior is quite a feat. I can tell you. And one thing I've noticed is that this also blends into how she treats others. I've been incredibly impressed with her ability to present herself, always with dignity and compassion, no matter who she's dealing with, which you can see as a result. As a result, she can command 50 students, and they listen to her, they follow her leadership, and look to her to kind of guide this ship along, and not just with choir, even in our AP English class. I see her in any capacity that she's in, she takes things thoughtfully, profoundly, and she is a leader at all times, and I appreciate that about her. Thank you.
And Michaela became an aunt for the first time yesterday, and her parents are new grandparents. So. First one. So congratulations, Michaela. Now I'd like to turn it over to Janice Jones, principal of West Valley High School.
Good morning. It's my privilege to introduce our Student of the Month from West Valley, Jeff Ford Barrow. He is an incredible young man, exhibits leadership, motivation, determination on a daily basis. Students and teachers alike look to him for a calming presence, somebody who can answer questions, who's collaborative, who works with diverse groups. He's just everything that you want to have in your classroom. I wish we had a school full of Jeff Fords, because he just brings something to the table that not every person does, and I'm really pleased to introduce him today. He is ranked right now number 2 in our class, very, very motivated young man. He aspires to many great things that I will let him talk about, but by the time he graduates, he will have taken and passed with A's, I believe, all of them, 13 AP classes, and that's just about how many we offer. Maybe a couple more than that, but he's just wonderful to talk to, and I can't wait to write his letters of recommendation. So with that, I want to introduce you to Jefford Barrow.
Good morning, everybody. And no, I do not have a voice modulator. And then my apologies if I start off with an emotional impact on all of you, so here I go. So, as a family, as my parents came and graduated from a 4-year university from the Philippines, and then when they transferred to California, I find it unfair that they cannot even use their degrees in California. My mother majored in accounting, and my dad majored in medical tech. But in California, they weren't able to even use those degrees. They had to find jobs as workers, assemblers, working at restaurants. I found that so unfair to even society. And so my life, I've always viewed as my life just being a virtual reality. I found everybody just to be a computer-programmed AI. And so what I want to show everybody is that I can actually make this world, my world, an actual reality. So whenever my parents would be in economic hardship, and I also saw my dad being in tears when we were almost about to lose our house, I had to find a way that I could make their lives better, and this is being selfless. Every time I had a birthday, every time I received gifts and money, I just gave it to my parents, because I know they need it more than I do. And also, on this topic of virtual reality, I want to make sure that this reality is actually a real world. So what I did is, I tried to make everybody around me be influenced by me and also impact their lives. So in the Iglesia ni Cristo, or also called the Church of Christ, as a CLS choir member when I was 7 years old, this one choir leader told the altos, which I was an alto singer, is alto sing louder. And I got really, really mad, because when she said that, I was like, no, I'm not taking that. So what I did is that I made sure I sang louder. I sang with my heart. And what happened is I was able to influence my other alto singers. So when I left the CLS choir at the age of 14, I was able to see them grow as alto singers. They didn't have to rely on me anymore. They were able to stand up for themselves thanks to me. And so also in school, I also wanted to change my school's culture. I was the first freshman to take an AP class in West Valley High School. And what that led to is the following years, I saw many more freshmen with my influence to take AP Art History, to take even AP courses. And also in the following years, they also introduced AP Human Geography. And also, this world that I live in, I want to make sure I create a reality by impacting every one of everybody's lives. So my contribution is that I was able to change the school's culture. I was able to make sure and show everybody that freshmen can also take AP classes. It doesn't have to be a sophomore, junior, or senior. Freshmen also have the capabilities. They have the potential to grow as a person. And then, so what I aspire to be and going to college is Stanford University. I want to major in computer science / engineering / software engineering. And you may actually realize how I said anything about virtual reality. To make this a reality, I want to create an invention, a program just to affect everybody's lives, especially the kids at school. Because whenever I walk by everybody at school, I want to know their lives. I want to see how I can influence them to make them feel real to me. So why desire to create an invention that can actually allow them to feel more engaged into education. Not them to be looking at their phones, playing video games at home, and neglecting their duties in their education. I want to make sure I can create this technology that can make education seem better, more interactive with them, so in order to create a brighter future for all my students and peers. So the biggest lesson I've learned is to do everything with your heart. When I was singing in the CWS choir, or now in the adult choir, I didn't really pay attention to what is coming from here. I just did all the mechanicals, sing every note perfectly, following the tempo. But once you sing with your heart, you can actually feel emotions come through you, understanding what you sing. So if you're able to do everything with your heart, you can actually have a major impact on everybody else. So to close my speech, I would like to just say this quote that I think I made. Let the heart, which gives you life, also give life to everything you do.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you. Thanks be to God for giving us this wonderful opportunity to share with each other today. And as parents of Jeff Ford, we are very proud of him. He continues to succeed with his high grades and accomplishments. Despite of our situation in life, we are grateful this has not hindered him for being one of the top students at school. And thank you to Mr. Sean Matthews and Miss Janice Jones for supporting my son. And thank you also to the West Valley High School for giving our son this honor. And thank you to the sponsors and organizers here for this great event. Again, thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Sean Matthews. I'm the AP Physics teacher at West Valley High School. We recently started the AP Physics program this year, and Jefford was mentioning virtual reality. Well, I was thinking, well, virtual reality. He went ahead and he signed up for a course that no one had taken on campus, along with a few other of his friends. So he had boldly gone where no man had gone before on campus. Thank you. Have a good morning.
And at this time, I'd like to introduce Eric Dahlstrom, principal at Tockwitz High School, and his student. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank our sponsors and the organization, Student of the Month. You guys have done a great job. This is the second time I've done it this year, and it's a great program. I'm excited to continue with the woman power here. I got three lovely ladies I got to spend this morning with, very humbled ladies. It's been great to get to know you guys. Lila is probably one of the most humbled students we have at Tockwitz. I ask her how she does in her grades, and she's like, okay. She has a 3.8. I ask her about her athletics. She says, I'm pretty good. She's our fastest 100-meter runner. She'd chase anybody down in this room. So She's an amazing young lady, and I'm excited to hear what she has to say today. She was nominated by our Spanish department. They're unable to be here today, but I give you Lila.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Lila Kindred, and first I'd like to thank everyone for being here. To my left is my sister, Zakia, and my mother, April. And this is my principal, Mr. Dahlstrom. First, I'd like to start with the biggest obstacle that I've overcame. When I was younger, I was put into foster care because of some family issues. And I was in there for a long time, and I was really angry about it because I felt that no one cared about me. So I was in there for a long time. And I got to see my mother, my birth mother, and visit her a lot. And when I got a little older, she told me that she was diagnosed with AIDS. And it just made me even more angry, and I began to act up in the group homes that I was in, and everyone was afraid to adopt me. And then my adoptive mother, April, came along, and she took me in, and she was afraid at first because it was kind of scary. I was not a very good kid. And she showed me the way. At first in elementary school, I was angry because that was when my mom recently, my birth mother, she had died. The illness finally got to her. And so I was mad, and I didn't want to do anything else, and I was just scared and crying a lot, and I almost was ready to give up. And then my mom came along, and she told me that giving up isn't going to help me. So I decided that I wanted to do something with my life. I wanted to show people that I'm not just going to be another statistic. I wanted to give back to my community, so I started to do better in high school so I can be a doctor, an emergency room physician to be exact. I wanted to help the people that I couldn't help when I was younger, because this dream was really for my mom, because I told her I would help her get better, but she couldn't hold out for that long. So that was that. And then, so I contribute to the community by feeding the homeless every Saturday. And I also do volunteer work with my ROTC program. And they help me out a lot. And my grades are better now. I do well in school. I help everyone out. They come to me when they have a problem, and I can help them. And I'm really there to motivate people and tell them that they can do it, because there's people there for me that told me I can do it, and it helped me out. So, thank you.
I am very, very proud of this young lady. Excuse me if I get emotional. She's come a very long, long way. She only gave you just a tip of the iceberg, but we won't get into that. But I'm glad that you put your best foot forward, and with God you can do anything. This is an example. And I would like to say I'm proud of all the young students in here as well. Keep doing the best, and I am thankful for everybody that supports them, because you never know what kids are going through. Feeding the homeless, she found other classmates that were homeless and didn't know. And they're going to school like this, their bellies are hungry and empty, and they're going to school trying to do the best that they can. So if you see somebody in need, give a helping hand. That's what the world needs. And I just want to thank everybody for being here and all the people that support it. Thank you.
All right, it's my pleasure to introduce Dave Farkas, Hamilton High School.
Good morning, and thanks for having us. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to Sizzler. This is our third year participating, and every month it's the same theme. It's always about perseverance, and that's what makes this awards opportunity special. Every month you hear these wonderful perseverance stories, and it's not about always about the grade point averages, although there's some tremendous strides and improvement with that when we see these students and hear their stories. But it just inspires us all as adults, and we talk about that also every month. And then I get to go home and share with my sons the stories of young people overcoming obstacles. So congratulations on everything you've been through and all your successes and continued successes. Today we have our Hamilton honoree, Lisette Subida, and Lisette has been, she's a senior obviously, she's been among the student bodies for all 4 years, but she's kind of the glue that holds the school student body and our culture together. She's always somebody that's in the mix, doing something positive every day, always smiling. I have, like I said, I have 2 sons at home, and if I had a daughter, I'd want my daughter to be like Lisette. She's not a 4.0 student. She's a good student. She takes pride in her grade point average and her work, but she's way more than just a student. She's truly somebody that that's one of my favorite students at our school, and we're very proud of everything she does for our school behind the scenes and inside our school culture. She actually has such a good heart and looks out for everybody. It was the middle of the summer. It was like Father's Day, and she came back from a weekend and said, "Well, happy Father's Day, Mr. Farkas." To think of those kind of little things she does is just, it makes a big mark on everybody, big impressions. So I'm going to pass this on to her teacher and also our Interact Club advisor, Mr. Bishop.
When I was asked to nominate Student of the Month, Mr. Farkas gave me the 3 things of perseverance, leadership, and academic achievement. And like you said, Lisette embodies all of these. What she goes through and comes to school with a smiling face, and like he said, just holds this whole student body together is just amazing. So I'll let her share, and hopefully one of her sisters will get up there.
Good morning. I'd like to thank all the sponsors. So on this side, my principal, Farkas, and then my physics teacher, Mr. Bishop. And then on this side, my 2 sisters, Gabby Zepeda and Miriam Zepeda. So my name is Maria Zepeda, but I go by Lisette, which is my middle name. I've attended Hamilton since kindergarten. For as long as I can remember, I didn't have someone to push me. I didn't have anybody to push me to do better in school. So it wasn't until high school where I put the matter into my own hands. And I figured that my education mattered to me, and that's all that mattered. I'm going to take my determination, skills, and competitiveness to get into San Marcos and try to become a labor nurse. I'm also captain of the basketball team and volleyball team. I try to be as kind as I can, but still stick to the point to better my teammates and also better myself as a captain, sticking to what matters most, but still being true to myself and how to treat people with respect and kindness. I can give back to my community by spreading my knowledge and trying to help people better themselves with the characteristics I've accumulated in the clubs I participate in. I'd like to thank both Mr. Farkas and Mr. Bishop. Mr. Farkas, you've set such great examples for the students at Hamilton, but most importantly, you believed in me when I no longer did not. Mr. Bishop, thank you for going the extra miles as a teacher and making physics much more bearable than what I imagined it to be. My life may change after high school, but will never change the valuable lessons both of you have taught me. And that's it.
Hi guys. I'm not her mom, I'm her sister. Well, proud of you. I don't know. We never really had like parents like most of you guys have that push you guys to do what you guys do. And like sometimes I have to remember that I'm not her mom. I'm sorry for that. But I know both of you are gonna go far. And you guys know I'm always there for you guys no matter what. And thank you guys like for giving her this opportunity, and yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I knew Lisette would be shy, but she's also the loudest cheerleader on Friday nights when she really gets comfortable. She leads the cheer team also. So thank you again. Next we have Tara O'Malley, and her school wait, I screwed up because I had Frank Green, so Alessandro, I'm sorry. I was thinking Helen Hunt Jackson with Frank Green, but we switched it. So Tara O'Malley, principal, and here we go with I think this is our last one, so thanks again.
So thank you again, an echoed theme for everything, all this generous donations and everybody spending their time to honor these wonderful students. I love what the pastor said in his opening prayer. This is such a divisive time in our country, and I really hope that on November 8th, everybody unites around one candidate, the Green Bay Packers. All right. Vic, you're going to back me up on that one, right? All right. Alessandro is so honored to recognize Selena Powell for this award. Selena has been at Alessandro almost a year, and like most students that come to an alternative program, a continuation school, they're behind in credits for a variety of different reasons. And what I did not know from the day I met Selena is that she was going to turn out to be an amazing leader. Now, leaders come in all different shapes, sizes, and in Selena's case, volume. Her leadership is displayed by her actions. As she has an amazing story of what she has overcome to get to the point where graduation is just a few months away. But I don't think, Selena, you realize what a leader and what an impact you have with the students and the staff at Alessandro. Your hard work ethics is just an amazing gift that you've given us as an example. So I want you to hear a little more details about why Selena was selected. Her advisory teacher is Mary Beth Messer.
Thank you, Tara. As Tara was saying, you probably know Alessandro High School is a school for juniors and seniors who somehow got behind in credit in high school. And every one of our students has a unique story, and Selena is one of them. Selena came to Alessandro at the end of the first semester of her junior year. She was with us for a month, and she came to us after living through some particularly severe and challenging, a troublesome life and events that almost broke her. And she will tell you a little bit about that. I'll go into her academics and what happened when she came to Alessandro. She decided to take responsibility for her own education. She saw a program that she could work and that could work for her, and with her determination, she decided to dedicate herself to it, and boy, did she. She was with us for a month that first semester and earned herself 11 credits, and that's where I started to see it kicking in. Then her junior year, the second semester, she earned 55 credits. She came to us with just 69 credits. In that one semester, she earned 55 credits, and to the amazement of all of us, she got an A in every one of those classes. She did that by going to her 6 core classes during the day and then adult ed after school, also signing up for extra classes on the weekend and joining clubs. She's in the yoga club with me once a week, which is fun also. She jumped in with both feet and was very committed to graduating. As Ms. O'Malley said, just having Selena in a classroom, she's a leader just by her presence, just by her being there. She attended summer school this year too, and already this semester she's probably earned herself close to 50 credits again, and we expect her to graduate this semester. So she'll probably graduate half a year early. We're so proud of Selena, watching her grow in her confidence and ability. She's really blooming. Her goal level is very high. As her teacher and advisor, she inspires me. And also, now with Selena, success is just natural for her. It just feels natural for her. So I would like to introduce Selena Powell.
Hi. This is my mom and my sister. My mom's name is King, and my sister's name is Zaina. I want to go to MSJC after graduation and then onto a university to become a veterinarian because I love animals. I have already started trying to help animals in the community. I have already saved 2 kittens from dying, and I have rescued the dog I have today. I live with my mom, 4 sisters, and 3 brothers. My dad passed away when I was 14, and that made me physically and emotionally depressed. I stopped going to school for a while, and I got into this habit of not getting out of the bed and not eating. After that, it was very hard for me and I thought that moving to Hemet was going to be the same. I thought about dropping out at one point, and I'm glad I didn't, because going to Alessandro saved my life. At Alessandro, I got my motivation and enthusiasm for life back. I joined AVID and yoga, and I also helped at the 2015-2016 graduation. My mom and Miss Mary Beth kept me motivated to do my work every day and to never give up even when life is throwing a curveball at you. Just do your best, stay motivated, and smile no matter what. So I want to say thank you to everyone who nominated me for this award, and to my mom and Miss Mary Beth for keeping me motivated, and I want to say thank you to all the sponsors.
Would you like to say something? Oh gosh, it's not even me getting the award and I'm so nervous. My mom had a lot to say, so I'm just gonna sum up a little bit of everything. But our dad did pass away a few years ago, and it was really hard for Selena to get back on track. We have gone through a lot of different transitions, and I just want to say that we're very, very proud of you. And we're so thankful that we got the opportunity to have her up here and speak in front of everyone. And all of you guys have done such an amazing job. I wanted to, of course, mention a few things that my mom did say, because she's not up here because she's crying all the time. But we do come from a fairly medium-sized family. Our family is the biggest. We have, there's 8 children and 1 adult, because my dad passed, of course. And through this time and the many transitions that we have come a very long way. I just want to make sure, sorry. As her mom, she's very proud, and she's glad that Selena did not give up, and she always motivates everyone in the house. She's the little helper. She makes sure that she's always there for my mom, and she very much shows that in school and the things that she does with the community and helping the animals. Like she said, she brought 2 kittens back to life, so that clearly shows that she has so much determination and willpower to do very much more in her life and help others. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we're back at the beginning. Karina.
Wow, right? I'm normally never speechless, but every month the young adults in this room leave me this way, and no matter what challenges I have, and I think, oh my gosh, it's so horrible, you guys are my motivation, and I want to thank you, students, for sharing your story with a bunch of strangers. I know that has to be very difficult, but you guys do something to the adults in this room that stays with us for a long time. So I am an emotional person as well, so I don't want to start crying, but I want to thank, the parents. If you guys could please stand, and I never do this, but parents, sisters, if you guys could please stand. Thank you. And I'll tell you, as a parent, as a sister myself, there's nothing that hurts me the most than to see our children affected. I want to tell you guys thank you for continuing to support your children, your siblings. Without people like you in their life, it would be so difficult for them. So I'll stop crying. I won't make you guys cry anymore. But moving forward, thank you again, guys, for sharing. And I would like to call up 2 dignitaries that will share some words with you, which will be Tom Wilson from Chad May's office. And I'm going off of no notes. And Alex Meyerhoff from the city of Hemet. Thank you.
You know, Karina is right. There's a lot of tears shed this morning. And now she started it with me. But it's tears of inspiration. These students have faced a lot of challenges. Students in our 2 districts face a lot of challenges every day, and they manage to overcome them. I was going to make notes on each student and make a remark, but I'm saving the program for a special reason. But I think back on Michaela and her leading the choir, and it reminds me of the Bill Murray movie Stripes, if anybody remembers that, where they all train themselves. You know, overcoming obstacles, facing the challenges, all those sorts of things that these young people face every day, it's amazing. I can remember back in those times, it's been a few years, but the uncertainty and all that life is presenting to you, but you have to draw deep and remember the people that support you, the people that believe in you. And remember to express the gratitude. I'm the worst person to have up here because I'm thinking of all that's been said, and then I'm trying to gather it in my mind to say something inspirational. And I just encourage you to follow your dreams, and if the opportunity presents itself, come back to the Valley. It's not a bad place to live. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Alex. Thank you for the invitation to speak this morning. I think so much has already been said, but what an amazing group of students. You guys are incredible. And then, Karina, what you said about sisters, I echo that sentiment. I have 5 sisters, so I think I'm a very lucky person. So in talking about, just to summarize all the things that we heard our students and our young people talk about today, it's all of these qualities embody leadership, right? We talked about responsibility, love and acceptance, preparation, hard work, determination. We talked about compassion, leadership, collaboration. We listened about the importance of putting our best foot forward. We talked about humility, inspiration, aspiration, motivation, perseverance, achievement, action, motivation, and some other things that are really important. Kindness. Sometimes we forget kindness and respect, self-respect and respect for our friends and colleagues. The things that you reminded me about this morning, these demonstrate, all these characteristics really demonstrate the leadership of our young people today. In thinking about our country, I don't want to talk about the election, but in thinking about our country and what a great country we live in, these are the attributes of leadership. And hearing the stories of our young people today, I am so excited about the future of our country. I'm so excited about the future of our community. So I just want to say one thing. We heard great examples of leadership. As Tom mentioned, the importance, I want all of you young people to think about this. The ones that were recognized today, your siblings, your friends, your sisters. You have great opportunities ahead of you in your life. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen and where life is going to take you. Please come back to the Valley. We're going to need your education. We're going to need your skills. We're going to need your knowledge. We're going to need your aptitude and all of your abilities and the things that you bring to the table. So thank you very much. Congratulations. And let's give one more round of applause to our young people today.
I would like to call up I promoted you guys too. Soon to be Dr. Christy Barrett, but Christy Barrett from Hemet Unified School District and Diane Perez from San Jacinto Unified School District.
Thank you so much this morning for all of you being here today and the support and the continued commitment that you make on behalf of our students. I think Karina summed it up when she came back to the podium and just said, wow, because that really does speak to the stories that we heard from each of you today. What I would share is for the adults in the room, this is why we do what we do. And so if we ever need to be reminded of the importance of the work that we do day in and day out, it's with the young people that we have in front of us today. So thank you for that reminder. What I would also share with you is I think so often as adults, it's very easy to forget and to lose touch with what so many of you go through on a daily basis. You know, so often we see the end product or the end result and know so very little about the journey that you have each gone through to get to where you are. Life is really strange in that so often you have to live the majority of your life to be able to look back to see what you would have done different or really what blessings you've been given. And so each one of you gave us a blessing and a gift today to remind us why we do the work that we do. And I encourage you to keep on the path that you're going. You know, the perseverance that you show, you're to be commended for. And I would say that one of the messages we hear often in education is we're here to give hope. And I would let you know that each one of you gave us hope today in the work that we do to make sure that you can lead whatever life you choose to lead. And I would share with you that do not have any boundaries placed upon you, because any boundary that you have or any limit that you have, I would say that it's because of what we choose to limit ourselves to do. You have each already reached so far beyond, I think, what many of us as adults could ever aspire to do. So congratulations on your accomplishments, and I wish you a very bright future ahead, and just know that you have so many people rallying around you to ensure that you can meet whatever goal you put in front of you in terms of your life. So thank you so much. With that, I'm turning it over to Diane.
Thank you, Dr. Barrett. I think that's awesome. This is her first time here. I am so thrilled to have a new partner in crime who has the passion and the commitment to kids, and it's just so exciting to have. So let's just give her another round of applause. Who says the public education system is failing? I dare you to say that in this room today. You know, one of the things that businesses don't have to do is they don't have to take everybody. We take every student and somehow endeavor to make them better. And you will watch our teachers in the room, whether you're Hemet or Sadison or our principals, they never, ever give up. This is not a job you go into fame. This is not a job you go into for money. Well, is anybody getting a lot of money? I just wanted to know. Tell me now. It's a job you go into for kids. And I'm blown away when I think about what I sometimes hear about our public school system. Invite them here, because this group is what's changing Hemet and San Jacinto. 4 years ago, Karina, you asked us to get involved. I really was like, what is she thinking? This has been the most amazing thing. So
Thank you everyone for attending, and have a great day.